Hello! How are you guys? I'm hanging out at Starbucks in Dallas, and Tiffany is here. Come and say hi. Hello. We did a class this morning at a doctor's office in Addison, and then tonight we are going to a chiropractor's office in Dallas. So super excited about that. And I'm discovering I love to do classes in like medical kind of environments because my science nerd gets to totally come out, and I get to use fun words like bioavailability and stuff like that. I totally love it. So super fun. We're having a great time. And so I wanted to jump on and bring you video number 9. So today we are going to talk about taxes. We're going to be very left brain today. Are you ready? We're going to talk about taxes, and we're going to talk about tools, and we're going to talk about reports, okay? All these things, kind of some nitty gritty to help you in your business. All right, so we will jump in right in with taxes. And as always, if you have questions as we go, ask them in the comments because I can see them mostly. So we'll try to help you with them. All right, first thing about taxes. So when you earn over $600 in a year, Young Living is going to send you a 1099. And so on this 1099, you then add that into your taxes. So there's a few different things that you can do. With this business, you have a lot of tax write-offs. And so it's a really good business strategy to be able to keep track of all those write-offs and really minimize what you're gonna pay in taxes. Hi, come over here and say hi. Hello. So my friend Carrie just got here. Hi. Hello. I'm doing my business on my video. Aha. So, welcome. You can really minimize what you can write off. And so I keep track of a lot of things. Okay, and I'm gonna do my little preface of, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, I'm just offering you what I've done and what my CPA is okay with. Okay, so got my little disclaimer there, right? So I write off all kinds of things. I write off mileage. If I am going to the post office to mail a package, I write that off. If I'm going to somebody's house to do a class, I write that off. And when I come to Dallas, I'm in Dallas right now, this mileage up here is all a write-off, right? And there's a couple different ways to do cars, but I just write off the miles because I get the best bang for my buck that way. So, write off the mileage. I write off all my expenses. So anything that I buy, like reference books, all that kind of stuff is a write-off. Roller balls. My accountant is good if I write off my Essential Rewards order. So I write off about $100 plus a little bit for the tax and shipping. So maybe $120 a month is an automatic write-off for me because I have to order that in order to get paid. Not all accountants are okay with writing off ER orders, but mine has been, and I've been doing it for like 6 years now. So I'm pretty happy with it. And now that Chris is a member, we're also writing off his ER orders. So that's super cool. When you travel, if you go to your parents' or your friend's house, or you go to convention and you spend the night somewhere, then you can take all of those expenses. You can do it 2 different ways. You can take all the expenses and categorize them and then say, okay, here was lunch, here was my hotel room, here was dinner, here's all the costs for that. Or you can take what's called a per diem. And most of the time, for me, the per diem ends up being more than what it would have been had I tracked everything individually. Because I stay at cheaper hotels and I eat at cheaper places. And so the per diem just works out a lot better. And but you can look at that and see what works for you. And it depends on the city also and where you're staying in the city. But you can Google that online, like IRS per diem rates, and then whatever city you're going to be in. And I just have a spreadsheet where I have my dates, I have who went, because if Chris and I both go, then we get double the per diem rates. Score! So keep track of that, the date, who's going, where we went, why we went there, and then the rate that the IRS gives for that city in that year. And that just saves my accountant from having to look it up, right? So I go through there, track all of those things. I think that's the main thing. Oh, subscriptions, right? I do subscriptions and I'm going to talk about some of these tools in a little bit, but these various things that I pay monthly for, or maybe I pay yearly. I write off expenses for my website. I believe I I wrote off a portion of my cell phone because I use it for personal things too, right? So I figured out what percentage do I use this for business, and then I wrote off that percentage. Postage obviously is a write-off. Okay, let's talk about creating a business. So, because at some point when you get to a certain income level, and recommendation is around when you hit silver, when you're getting around $1,500 or more a month, that's when you really want to think about doing some sort of a business. Whether you do an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp, and your accountant can help you figure out what's going to be the best for your situation. For us, we set up an LLC that's taxed as an S Corp, okay? And so what that means, this is like, we have the best accountant. I love him. I think he's brilliant. So what we did, we have this LLC taxed as an S Corp. And so the way that he runs taxes is because Young Living is residual. And so I'm not going and working 40, 60 hours a week to get my paycheck, right? So much of it's residual. He pays Chris and me a certain salary, and then the rest of it is all taxed as residual income, which means you do not pay, oh gosh, what is it called? The part that employer usually pays, that if you're self-employed, then you have to pay it. Worker, FICA, workers, comp, maybe, all that. I don't know, it's a big number. Gosh, it's been a little while. So there's these big numbers that you have to pay both of them if you're self-employed. And if it's being counted as residual income, you only have to pay the one. So it saves us a ton of money the way that this is set up. And then because we have so many write-offs, it just totally helps our tax budget there. So I know some of y'all had questions about taxes, so I will pause a second. And if you have some questions about taxes, then jump on here and ask them. And I can come back to it also. FICO, Medicaid, and Social Security. Yes. I will go back and look it up, and then I can write it in the comments, because it was quite a bit. I don't remember what it was called. I'm sorry, but it was super helpful. And then that's an easy way to do it by setting it up with the LLC taxed as an S Corp. It's simpler than doing the C Corp or the S Corp business. Okay, so let's talk about tools that I really like, because I have some tools that I use every month and every day sometimes that really help me a lot. The first one is called Oily Tools. And I can put the names of these in the comments too so you can see them. But it's called Oily Tools, and it's like $5 a month. And I love it for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons why I love it is because it's a paycheck estimator. And so I can look on there and see, like right now, I can switch it to July, and then I can get a pretty good, it's like accurate plus or minus 2%, right? So I can get a pretty good idea within 2% of what my paycheck is gonna be. That is so helpful. Y'all, back in the day, we used to have like a cheat way to do it where we could get in this back way and then like add stuff up, and we were all doing all this complicated math to try to figure it out. So when Oily Tools came out, we were like, yes, one click and we get to see it. And you can also play and change ranks. So when you're getting close to the next rank, you can bump it up, and it'll give you an idea of what you would make at the next rank. Obviously, you've got to be close to the next rank to be able to get an accurate idea, right? Like you guys that are just starting, if you bumped it up to Diamond and you were going to make $75 this month, it would probably go up to like $80, right? Or stay the same, because you don't have a big enough team yet to reflect the changes, right? Does that make sense? So Oily Tools will give you a great estimate of how much income you can make. They also give you lots and lots of statistics that are super helpful, okay? So they give you statistics like the percentage of people that are ordering on your team. How many people do you have on your team? How many of them are placing orders? What's the average size order for your team? What's the percentage of your team that's on Essential Rewards? And so I would encourage you to set a goal for the percentage of people on your team that are on Essential Rewards, and then see how high you can get that number. Mine's like 38, 40%. So I'm like, get bigger than my number. Do it. You can do it. Average PV per member. It also gives you your projected OGV and then your pace OGV. Projected OGV is what Oily Tools estimates your OGV to be based on orders that have already happened and outstanding Essential Rewards orders. Pace PV just gives you all of this is everything that's happened. This is how it takes the average everybody orders every day and then multiplies that by 31, basically. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's the idea. And so you can get an idea of pace of, man, this is where we're going. It usually doesn't fully match pace, so projected is a little more accurate, but pace can get you pretty excited, like, oh my gosh, we're on pace to hit 4,000 this month or whatever. But then look at projected to get a pretty real idea of where it's headed. It'll also tell you new enrollments, how many new enrollments you've had on your team. Lots of really cool stats in there. And then you can also see stats on your downline. As your team grows, I could click on Tiffany's name in Oily Tools and I could see what's her percentage of people on Essential Rewards? What's her percentage of whatever, how many people are ordering, average PV per member, all that kind of stuff. I can see it, and then it helps me coach her too. Hey, this might be an area where you might want to focus and help build up on your team, right? You can also run a ton of different reports on Oily Tools, both in the VO, the virtual office, and in Oily Tools. There are lots and lots of reports. And these reports help you know things like who's on Essential Rewards, right? You can just pull that and you can get your list of everybody that's on ER, and then you can send them a message or reach out to them. Hey, how you doing? Do you have any questions? What's something I can help you with this month, right? Something like that. They can show you who's been 0 PV, who hasn't ordered, and you can set in search criteria so you can see who hasn't ordered in the last 6 months, who hasn't ordered in the last 2 months, and then you can reach out to them and connect with them before too much time goes by. Because you don't want your connection to be, oh my gosh, they're about to go inactive and they haven't heard from you all year long, right? Like, you want to be connecting with them before that. You can see who's your own personally enrolled. So the people that you have personally signed up, it'll give you a list of that, and then that can make it easy for you to reach out to them. Like last night, I pulled a list of all my personally enrolled, and I just sent them a quick text that was like, hey, I just want to say thank you so much for being part of Young Living and on my team. You're such a blessing. Please let me know how I can help you, if I can answer any questions. And I had a cute little picture, and it was like, boom, done, right? So it was that touch point with people. I just like to do that occasionally. You can search for people by zip code. So if you're having a local event or you're traveling someplace to have an event, then you can pull up everybody in that area. And you can search by so around Houston, the 77 zip code is a lot of the Houston area. And so depending on how far out I wanted to make my radius for my event, I could pull everybody in the 77 zip code or the 773 zip code. Just put those first early numbers instead of the whole 77303. You could just do 773. That would get a lot of people around me, and then I can message them, hey, I'm doing this event on this day. I'd love to have you come. Sort of an idea, right? You can do new rankers. You can pull reports of everybody that's hit a new rank during the month. And you can obviously pull in all accounts reports so you can see everybody. You can pull in about to go inactive reports. So really, y'all, there are so many different reports. Like, we could take 3 hours to go through all the reports, but I'm not green enough to do that. Like personality colors. So yeah, I don't know that many of the reports, but those are the main ones that I use and that are super helpful in the business. So I do those in the virtual office, and I do those on Oily Tools primarily. There is another app that's called Oily Trends that a lot of people really like. I had some technical difficulties with it, and so I haven't really gotten into it. But from what I am told, it goes through and shows you, like, you can track over time, how are your ER percentages doing? How are your ordering percentages doing? Oily Tools just gives you 2 months at a time, and Oily Trends gives you kind of a bigger picture look. So maybe someday I can get mine to work. Other people get theirs to work. If you figure it out, let me know. Word Swag is another one that I really like, and it's free. Whoop, for free. And I make graphics on that all the time. It is a super quick app that I just download on my phone. I pull it up. It's got lots of stock photos, and then I can do a little graphic, put some text on it, save to my phone, boom, done. A lot of the graphics, when I'm putting stuff up in the group, I've just made it in Word Swag, and that's how I put it up. Hooray, no graphic design They need it for simple little things, right? You guys that can do graphic design, I'm like, go for it. I need word swag. The LSP app is an app that I really like. It's basically our reference guide on your phone. And it's a one-time fee of like $9.95, I think maybe. I don't remember. But you can get it off the LSP website, and then you can use my login for that, and it'll help give you a discount. And so on that, I've got singles, blends, usage application, personal ways to look things up. That is so helpful. And then when I'm talking to people, I can also just screenshot that and text it to them. You know, clip it down so it's easy for them to read, and then screenshot it. I use the LSP app all the time. TaxBot. This one is really great for keeping track of your taxes. So you can take pictures of your receipts, upload them straight into TaxBot. You can have it automatically track your mileage. I don't do that because not enough of my miles are business miles to have to sort all that out, but you can do that. And then you keep all your receipts in there. And then at the end of the year, it's like a 2-button click to get a form of all of that to download to send to your accountant or give to your spouse or whoever does your taxes. Like, it makes it so easy. And I did oily trims. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. We did taxes, and we did reports, and we did tools. So hang on a second. If you have any questions. Anything else you want to know about oily tools? I'm asking Tiffany because she's sitting here. I'm putting her on the spot.
I distracted her.
Okay.
Maybe how to get, like, when your team is small, what's the most important thing to pay attention to?
When your team is small, most important thing to pay attention to would honestly be like the LSP app. I would really highly recommend that one because then you've got usage information right there, and then TaxBot as well. And when you're signing up for TaxBot, if you put Young Living in there, then it should be cheaper too. And then Oily Tools is really fun, and if you can do $5 a month for it, then I would say go ahead and do $5 a month for it, or do it for 1 month and see how you like it and how much you're using it. But I wouldn't necessarily do Oily Trends if you're just getting started. And then Oily Tools can wait too. But it's fun to see how much your paycheck is and all that, and it's like 1 coffee, right? So I like that one. Maybe 2 coffees, depending on where you buy coffee. All right, well, thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow for our very last video in our on-ramp. So sad, but it's gonna be fun. So I'll see you tomorrow.